Alright everyone, so in this video I'm going to be talking about the compound effect, which I think is the foundation for a winning mindset for business and life in general. So the compound effect, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about compound interest and how if you invest $10,000 in the stock market and it grows at 10% a year for 50 years, you end up a millionaire with $1.2 million. And so that's how compounding works, right? It's like an exponential curve, and that's the compound effect. But most people don't realize that this applies to more than just business and actual money, right? You can compound everything, and the compound effect is in everything in our lives. So let me elaborate a little bit more on that. So basically, the compound effect is small actions that you do consistently over a long period of time that make a radical difference. And this applies to everything: income, health, relationships, happiness, success. It's all about making small choices every day, consistently, and over time that makes a radical difference. And that's how compounding interest works, right? The whole thing about compound interest for money is that it's over 50 years. It's over a long period of time. It's small gains over a long period of time that compound to massive results. And now, a good example of this, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, this person, is overweight and they really want to lose weight. Out of nowhere, as a New Year's resolution, they say, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week and I'm going to completely cut carbs or something like that. Someone that's, been eating unhealthy and never goes to the gym. They set this massive goal. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to fail. It's just not going to work out, right? But if that person said, all right, every day I'm going to do 15 push-ups. 15 push-ups, that's it. So that's a small choice, right? And it's important that you pick small choices because that's what the compound effect is about, because you need to be consistent. So those small choices need to be consistent. So you need to make it just small enough that you can do it every single day consistently without whining about it, without it being too big of a hassle, right? So if you set a small goal, like 15 push-ups a day, and you do it every single day, over time, that's going to compound and your health is going to compound and you're going to feel better. And now, obviously, 15 push-ups isn't enough, right? But in terms of completely changing your health, but it would be a start. It's a small choice that you do consistently, and then over time, it makes a radical difference. Now, that same person could also, set other compound effect goals. So they could say, every time I go for a chocolate bar, I'm gonna grab, an energy bar instead. And that's a small choice, but if you do that consistently over time, it's going to make a radical difference. They could just make a small choice that I'm not going to take any sugary drinks anymore. I can eat everything that I was eating before, but just no pop, so no Coca-Cola. Small choice, but if you do it consistently and you do it over time, it makes a radical difference. And now this is what the compound effect is all about. Now, a physical example of this, because this is a real thing that happens physically, that happens mathematically, and that happens in life in general for mindset and success. So a physical example of this is the Grand Canyon. Now, if you don't know how the Grand Canyon was formed, it was formed by years of water just carving through. So there's a little stream, a little river going through the Grand Canyon, and that stream of water has been carving the rock consistently for millions of years. So if you zoomed in to a daily basis of just the water doing its thing, it seems insignificant, right? You think there's no way that just a little bit of water can create anything significant. But over time and consistency, so the water never stopped. It's always consistent. It's always just flowing down. And over time, millions of years, it makes a radical difference. And it created the Grand Canyon, one of the great wonders of the world. And that's a great example of the compound effect, right? On a daily basis, it seems insignificant. Just like doing 15 push-ups every day seems insignificant, right? Because it only takes 2 minutes. But if you compound that over time, it makes a radical difference. So this is something that you want to apply in your life. And I'm going to give you another example from my personal life. So I've been learning how to make money online since I was 16 years old. And I wrote 16 years old here, but it was actually probably younger than that. I'm pretty sure I was 14 when I first got into it. 16 when I really got into it and started spending a lot of time researching this. And I constantly worked at it, even without making money for 2 years. I did make a little bit of money, but not a lot. And I worked really hard, and I was consistent because I knew that I wanted to do this. And I knew that it takes time to learn, and that my time will come if I just stay consistent and I keep learning. So for 2 years, I read blogs, I watched YouTube, I I tried things for myself, and that's mainly what I did. I tried things for myself. So, I've started multiple blogs, affiliate marketing businesses, paid traffic businesses. I tried selling services on Fiverr, on Upwork, and consistently, I never stopped. And I didn't see big results until over 2 years later when I started e-commerce. But all those consistent actions from before, it wasn't in vain. It gave me the skills that I needed to get the results that I'm seeing today. So all that hard work compounded to the results that I'm seeing today. And if I go back to this example, this is literally what my success in online business looks like. For a long time, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden it just took off exponentially. And if you analyze anyone's success, that's what it looks like. And it's not that you're not making any progress here. You are making progress, but that's the compound effect. That's how it works. Progress is super slow and you can't tell, but then it starts compounding really, and then that's when it goes exponential. So that's the compound effect. And how do you apply the compound effect, especially for business? So I'm going to try to bring this back to e-commerce a little bit more now. So how do you apply this? You want to adopt small routines that you can do consistently. And consistency is key here. You need to pick routines that are small enough that you can keep up and do it consistently, and never say like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm too lazy. I just want to watch Netflix instead. So for example, you could say, I'm going to watch one new course video every day, or I'm going to read one blog post about Facebook ads every day, or I'm going to read 15 pages of a good book every day. And these small, insignificant actions compound over a long period of time, right? So you could even say, like, if you're working on a new brand, you could say, I'm going to test five new audiences a day, or I'm going to make 3 new ads a week. Or, you just need to set realistic goals that aren't too crazy, that you can be consistent with. And it's all about consistency. Now, when you mix that consistency with time, you get crazy results. And that's basically the compound effect. So I hope that makes sense. And this is a quote from Will Smith here that really explains this compound effect well. So here's what he says. He says, you don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick perfectly as a brick can be laid. And you do that every single day. And soon you have a wall. And I really like this quote. So most people, they focus on the end goal first. They don't focus on just starting and starting brick by brick, right? So instead of saying, I'm just going to build this massive wall, and think, how am I going to build this massive wall, and just focus on that specifically, what you do is you say, all right, well, I'm just going to start. I'm going to do every single day. I'm going to put down a brick as well as I can. And over time, you're going to have a wall. And that's how it works. And that's how the compound effect works. It's all about taking small actions consistently instead of just setting these unrealistic goals and then giving up. Small, consistent actions repeated over time, and that equals massive success. Now, just before I end this lesson, I have a recommended book for you guys, and it's called The Slight Edge. The Slight Edge. And this book is about the compound effect, and it personally changed my life. I can safely say that. Ever since I read the book, I've seen a massive change in my life and my success, and I would highly, highly recommend it. And just reading in general is good. It's good for the brain. It's good for opening up your creative mind. And so I would definitely recommend that you read this Slight Edge book. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the next one.